Cory, are you there? There he is. There he
I'm
is.
here. Look how mad you looked while that clip was playing. Look how mad you were about all that.
Oh, no one could see me. I was just taking it all in because I actually hadn't seen the whole thing yet because I was so mad when I saw it initially, I turned it off. I couldn't believe the lack of respect.
Yeah, it was a little disrespectful. I'll give you that.
You really think you can whoop my ass?
Ariel, there is no way I'm letting you beat me in basketball ever.
Now, here's the thing. You said 21. To me, 21 is that game where you take free throws and then you break your ice. You're talking about break your ice. You're talking about that. I'm talking about one-on-one. I beat you probably 11-1. That's what I'm talking about, like me versus you, Mano. Not some game where we take free throws. What kind of BS is that?
Oh, you want to just go back and forth? But yeah, I'll play whatever stipulations you want, Ariel.
Who says that? That's like saying I'm challenging you to a fight, but we could only we could only grapple. Well, what is that?
That's the thing in MMA or boxing. You call out a bunch of MMA fighters and have them only do boxing, right? I was doing the same thing.
Exactly. That's exactly. And I'm the pro.
Handbook.
No, one-on-one. You think you would beat me one-on-one?
Yeah, definitely, without question.
You know I weigh like 70 pounds more than you, right?
I know. Well, I gotta decide what type of player are you? Are you like a shooter? What are you?
Yeah, you wish you knew. There's not a lot of footage on me, all right? Why should I tell you what type of player? I'm not giving you the playbook here. I'm not giving you tape. The type of player I am is the type of player who puts out his elbows, who gets a little bit dirty when he needs to, who boxes out like a mother. I mean, I box out better than anyone. I'm like Charles Barkley. I will box you out until the sun comes down. And I legit think you don't score more than 3 to 4. I'll be kind.
In a game to 11?
Yeah.
Ariel, no way I'm letting your bitch ass beat me in basketball.
Why do you got to talk about my nose at the beginning of the clip, huh? Why do you have to bring that up?
I don't know.
Low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, there's not a lot to talk about you because you're so great, Ariel. The only thing you got to know is,
I even feel bad like arguing with you right now. This is like I feel like our first fight. It just doesn't seem natural to me, okay? I don't want to hate you. This is probably like when you fight someone that you kind of like as opposed to someone you don't like, right? It just all feels forced.
This is me fighting everyone. We hate each other, but we don't really hate each other.
I'm hoping that you're not 100%, that the arm is not 100%. Then I would really like to play you. Are you 100%?
100% enough.
Okay. Fair enough. We'll revisit this down the line. For now, though, you are back. Did you know 363 days after they wanted to book you guys against each other the first time? And so I'm still wondering the answer to this question. Why are they so obsessed with this fight? I still don't understand why it's happening.
Well, one, I don't think that there's too many other people for me to fight that they're super high on right now. And they really like Umar, man. They like and I like Umar too. I think he's a really good fighter. I think that he obviously hasn't been in the UFC for that long, but I think that they like his striking style. I think that his striking style is really unique, and it's something that not a lot of people have. So that will be, interesting, I think, for people to watch. And then obviously he's a good grappler too, and he comes from a really famous last name, especially in the sport of MMA, and he's an undefeated guy. So I mean, he's a very marketable dude, and he's definitely a really good fighter. And I think that that's why they like him. I think that they like the matchup, me and him, just because it's. I actually don't really know. I suppose both of our striking will be really interesting to watch together because I have a unique style. He has a unique style. I also think that not a lot of fans have got to see a ton of my grappling on the defensive end in a few fights. And I think that maybe that might be interesting to some people to watch too. So, it definitely has a lot of interesting aspects to it. And he's kind of mysterious. Not a lot of people know about him yet and all of this and that. So, yeah.
Can I ask you, you mentioned the last name, if he had any other last name, anything, just a unique name that no one else has in the sport, do you think they're pushing him so much?
I don't know. That's a question for a reporter, not a fighter. I don't know, man. Whoever they tell me, whatever the last name is or whatever, whoever they tell me I need to fight in order to fight for the belt next is who I'm going to fight always. 1000% always.
What did you think of his last performance?
I thought it was good. I thought it was Yeah, I was actually just watching it last night, but yeah, it was a good performance. I think that other dude doesn't really know how to approach the certain type of grappler that Umar is, and obviously didn't spend a lot of time on the feet at all. Didn't do a lot of the things that he typically does on the feet at all, probably because he got dropped real early. And yeah, that other guy honestly just didn't have the right approach in the grappling, and I think it's pretty straightforward. You just have to know how to fight those guys in the correct way on the ground, and you'll win. But if you do it wrong, they look really, really dominant.
Have you or your management, Lloyd, been told you win this fight, you're getting a title shot?
I mean, yeah, Hunter was telling me, he was like, look, I don't know how it's not you after this fight, after Merab and O'Malley fight. So, yeah, so when I talked to Hunter, that was relayed to me that he doesn't see a way that it's not me after this one. So yeah, that's what I'm being told.
Do you think it's on the line for both of you, that stipulation? Do you think he gets a title shot if he beats you?
I think so, but who knows what can happen? You know, I know that they were going to do Ilya and Volk, and then Max had a really crazy knockout. Now they're thinking Ilya and Max. So I think anything can really happen. I'm really excited to come back, to be honest, man. Like I like sitting on the sidelines for this long, and then also in this time I was spending a lot of time going to a lot of the UFC shows, like really soaking in what it is to kind of be on the other end and in the stands and see the thing as a spectacle and not just like this like thing that I'm just doing, and then get to watch it from the outside a bunch of times was really interesting to me. I also feel like I got a lot of time to sit with the fact that I'm in the second half of my UFC career. Like I've been in the UFC since I was 25. I'm 32. I maybe got like 5 to 7 more years left in me, and that's really something that is a big time.
Nope. Did we lose him?
We did, but we'll get him back.
Do you notice my hair's a little longer?
Yeah.
I'm letting it grow.
Is that really what you're doing?
My kids have been begging me. I didn't cut it for like 11 days during the break. So it was even longer than this. This is 7 days. And they're begging me to let it grow.
I have to say, I noticed now that I have such short hair, like none at all.
Yes.
I've noticed like just a little growth. I'm like you. I'm just like, I need to cut this.
Oh, it's like
Cory's back.
you become obsessed with it. All right, he's back. There he is.
Hey, my bad, man.
No problem.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. That was a lot of
Yeah.
interesting stuff that you were just saying there, especially the back end of your career. Do you feel like you fixate on that? Like, is that something that is present in your thoughts? Like, okay, now this is the stretch. This, not to say that you're in the back 9, but like a half is over, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like where I was going with that point is that I'm really, really motivated and inspired right now to like my entire goal in this sport has definitely been to be a world champion. But even on top of that, I want to be something unbelievable that no one's ever seen in the fighting world. You know, like I want to have unbelievable kickboxing paired with unbelievable wrestling paired with unbelievable jiu-jitsu, and I want to make it like a better circle and more perfect than anyone has ever done it in the world, dare I say in history. But that's always been like my main goal, and I figure now that I have 5 years left, it definitely feels like, hey man, if you're gonna like make this push at like, yeah, winning fights and winning a world championship and being all of that. But like, really, man, like my main word that I've been really using to motivate myself is if you're going to be unbelievable, like I want to be unbelievable. If you're going to be that, you don't get to fuck around for the next 5 years. And so I'm like, it was nice to sit with that, understand, recalibrate my goals in a certain way, and really like sit and understand what this back half of my UFC career is going to look like. And like I said, like I'm really driven to be that unbelievable fighter that no one's seen before. So yeah, I'm really motivated, man. I really want to go out and like do it right in the next 5 years.
How far away do you think you are to achieving that greatness?
I mean, greatness is just one word, man. I want to be like unbelievable.
Okay, so even
like,
better than that. So, how far away are you from that status?
A few lifetimes, but I think that right now, you know, it's really funny because I watch the Nina Drama Girl. She asks fighters all the time, like what they think they are, you know, as far as like 1 through 10, what do they think they are? And I think that my answer, dude, honestly, would be probably somewhere between a 4 and a 6. And I don't think that that's because I'm a bad fighter. It's because I have a really good imagination. And when I imagine the best fighter in the entire world, no one's really close to it. I mean, in the sense of like an imagination, like in a parallel universe where, fighters are better than what they are in this one. I just want to get as close to that as I can. And I know that I'm not going to be, and that's okay, but I'm going to like push for that in this universe. I want to be that. So
I'm wondering, who do you think is the closest? If this is an unattainable status, who is on this planet Earth the closest to that status, in your opinion?
No one's even close.
Wow. So you are truly, you're truly striving for something that's like out of this dimension. Like it's unattainable.
Well, yeah, definitely. And sometimes when I like speak of things, like my bar is very different than what most people's bar is. Like I said, because I have a good imagination, and I like there's a saying. It's like talent can hit the target that everyone can see, but genius hits the target that no one can see, or whatever the saying is. Like I feel like not that I'm a fucking genius by any means, but I think that I can in my head see what every perfect step would be against like the highest level of guy. Like if you want to get nerdy, like Goku and stuff, where this guy is just like unbelievable, and every challenge that hits him, he answers with the perfect counter. And yeah, so yeah, I don't that's what I'm striving for big time.
Mentally, how tough has the layoff been? You still have 3 months left, so it's not like it's tomorrow, the fight, or this weekend. How difficult has it been on the sidelines?
I use my time appropriately. I try to take every season of life with like the most that I can get out of it. I try to get out of it. So like I said, in the time off, I did a lot of reflection. I did a lot of spending time at the UFC shows. I did a lot of time like watching tape on other guys and really studying like who's doing the best stuff, and in my opinion, and all of that stuff. So I didn't really ever take any time off from actually skill building, or I feel like learning or reading or doing anything like that. I feel like I attacked it even harder. And like I said, there's seasons where you physically don't get to do everything that you want, so you better do something in the meantime. And I just, there's always something that you can do. So I just always try to find the thing that I can do.
And you've also, been building up your online presence with the videos, the tutorials, the instructionals. And I know, when Chito fought Sean, he wasn't happy with some of the things that you said. Do you find yourself ever holding back? Clearly you weren't in that regard, or maybe you even were and you were still critical. But like, is it tough to be an active fighter and you're critiquing other active fighters?
Yeah, definitely. But most of the time I try to just focus on what the awesome things were that fighting. I really, the entire point of me starting the YouTube page is that I really want, well, one, I want people to see my personality and all of that stuff. But I want people to understand the beauty that's really happening inside of all of this stuff. I think that every fighter brings in their own unique characteristics and their own unique personalities. And it's outside of a lot of what I think the layman can see, just because they're not as experienced. It's a very new sport. It's really entering into, culture big time now. So I just want to be on the front end of helping people understand that these aren't just animals battering each other. And sometimes they are, but I want people to just understand that these guys are really awesome. And some of the things that they're doing are so incredible, and they need to be highlighted. And that's kind of just my motivation in doing that, so that people can gather a more of an appreciation for it.
Can you understand why Chito was so upset with the comments?
Yeah, I went a little hard on Chito. Yeah, I shouldn't have gone that hard on Chito, but I was kind of upset, honestly, that night. If I'm being real candid, I was a little upset because, one, I didn't really dig the fact that he was the one fighting for the title. Granted, I was hurt, but I still, it didn't feel right to me. I could tell, and that's not his fault either. Like, I'll give him a little bit of credit for that, where that's not necessarily his fault, because if someone asks you to fight for a title, you don't say no. But just like watching how the fight went also, and again, I'm trying not to go hard on Chito because that's not my style, but I was like, man, like, you're literally fighting a replica me, essentially, who does things a little bit differently, but same build, same style almost. And you went in and you fought almost the exact same. Like, which improvements did you make? Why didn't you at least attempt a takedown? Why didn't you at least do things a little bit differently than when you fought me? Like, where did you learn anything from our fight? And so I just, that upset me, like it upsets me when people, I don't feel like, I'm trying not to go hard. It upsets me when people don't come in better than they were before, because it just means that they're just, I don't know what they're doing.
Understand where you're coming from. I thought Sean looked incredible in the fight, and he continues to improve. That being said, can he beat Merab?
That's going to be a tough one. Honestly, it's going to be a hell of a fight for the both of them, to be honest. I definitely know that Merab's biggest issue in fighting is clearing that gap. He isn't the fastest guy in the world. He doesn't have a build that clears the gap really, really well. He kind of gets people tired, and then that gap becomes a lot easier to close. But O'Malley is one of the best at hitting people in that void and in that space in between me and you. And it's gonna be a really challenging fight for the both of them, because it usually, you say in a fight, it's either going to go one guy's way or the other guy's way. But I think in this one, it's going to be a battle back and forth of both of these guys getting what they want. I think that Sean will definitely be able to crack him when he clears that void. If Merab can eat it or recover or whatever, I think that he can run his game plan, and then that might happen again. And then Merab will run his game plan, and then that might happen again. And I think that they both have very specific ways to win this fight, and I think it's going to be a hell of a fight for the both of them. But Merab also has shown to be a little bit chinny in those spots, and Sean definitely hits hard as shit. So yeah.
Is it better for Cory Sandhagen that Sean O'Malley wins as opposed to Merab?
Oh, yeah, we're rooting for Sean O'Malley. We're rooting for Sean O'Malley. We want O'Malley to win, as long as he's not going to go off and do some stupid boxing fight with that guy, or as long as he's not going to try to go up to 145. Like, don't do that, Sean. Like, just stay in the division. Try to clear us all out if you can. But don't start doing all that stuff, man. Like, to me, again, I'll be real candid. I think that there's a tactic with some people that they take where they go high risk, high reward fights. No one wants to take high risk, low reward fights. And you can make the argument that if you go up a weight class and fight Elia, that's a very tough fight, of course. It's equally as tough, if not tougher, than anyone in this division as well, to be honest. But what do you lose? Like, you don't really lose anything except for getting your ass whooped, which we're all fighters and we're very used to getting our asses whooped all of the time. So you make a big paycheck, you get to come back to your weight class, and then you get to, be like, thumbs up, I'm still the champ at this at least. And then same thing in boxing. If you go to boxing and you lose a fight in a sport that you don't even participate in, there's no loss in any of that other than getting your ass whooped, which again, none of us are afraid of. So I disagree with it, because it would favor me more if he stuck around and I got to fight him.
What do you make of this talk of people saying after the Aldo fight that he should fight O'Malley?
No way, man. I love Aldo, man. Aldo's the absolute man, but you don't get to come back from retirement and then beat a guy way down in the rankings and then just fight for the belt. Like, I love Aldo, but definitely not. Like, there's too many good guys in the division for that to be the case.
Not your division, but I feel like you're a Steve Erceg fan. I don't know. Am I crazy? But I feel like you like him. Yeah,
I love Erceg. I've been watching him since the whole time he's been in the UFC. I shot him a message because I wanted to know where he lived, because I wanted to train with him. But
wow.
I think he's a really sharp guy. He's definitely like a nice mix of athlete and thinker, and you can tell in his interviews that here's the interesting thing about guys that can really articulate what it is that they're doing, is that they definitely have a system, and not all fighters, and it's okay, but not all fighters are super capable of articulating and describing what it is that they're actually doing. And that doesn't make them not good fighters, but that doesn't make that makes them not good guys to learn from. And I'm really interested in learning from guys that can explain to me what it is that they're actually doing. And he definitely seems like I could learn a lot from him.
Did you shoot him a message after the fight?
No, it wasn't after Pantoja. I messaged him after, it was a couple fights ago, I
Okay.
think. Yeah, because I watched him fight live and I was like, holy shit, that guy's really good. Like, really, really good. And then he knocked the other guy out again, or Matt Schnell or whatever. He
Yeah.
knocked him out. And I was like, oh man, yeah, this guy's really good.
So will you try to train with him? I know he's a little far out.
I'm not going all the way over there
All
to
right.
train with
Well,
him, but
maybe he's in America.
yeah, definitely.
Will this be your first time in Abu Dhabi since the Jan fight?
Yep.
How do you feel about that?
I'm cool with it. You know, like, I don't love the idea of going all the way over there to fight someone that's lower in the rankings and all of that, but I also really love the feeling of rising up to challenges, and I'm definitely not one to shy away from that, especially since I'm taking this fight anyways. So I'm cool with it, man. I really, it doesn't bother me to fight in other people's hometowns or anything like that. People like watching good fighting, whether they know it or not, and at the end of the fight, they're going to be rooting the both of us on because it's going to be an amazing fight anyway. So yeah, it doesn't bother me.
Was there anything that you did the first time that you were there that you learned from, that you know, just to get your body right, to get comfortable? Are there any lessons that you can apply to this one?
Yeah, okay. I'll actually shoot you a quick story. So
I love it.
The first time that I went out to Abu Dhabi was to fight Marlon Moraes, and it was no ceremonial weapons. It was like peak COVID time, so the schedule was much different. So I didn't flip and try to get to Abu Dhabi time. I just stayed on back home time because it made more sense with the time that we were fighting. Okay, that went completely great. Then when I fought Jan, the schedule was a lot different because it was a little bit after we were doing press conferences and all of that stuff. So I I tried to stay on time back home again because it still would have worked out perfectly. It would have been like 1 p.m. back home, and I was like, perfect, that's when we spar anyway. So, but because of the schedule, I missed out on a complete night of sleep, which was horrible. So, and I was freaking out, man. I was like, oh my God, like, what if I can't sleep the night before the fight? And so I'm laying in bed and I'm like, kind of afraid. I'm like, oh no, like I'm going to have to fight this guy on 0 sleep. And then that was about 30 hours before or maybe 24 hours before the fight. I take a melatonin. I set my alarm for 15 hours later. And I was like, please God, let me sleep this entire 15. I close my eyes. I hear my alarm go off and I was like, yes. I was like, yes, I slept the whole 15 hours. And so I got to be really rested going into that fight, but I'm definitely not doing that again because had I not, that would have been a really shitty night. So I'm going to go early and flip my time and do all of that stuff this go around.
Honestly, what I thought you were going to say was that like you slept through the alarm, that you were groggy, blah, blah, blah. But that's stressful stuff. You slept 15 hours, by the way?
Yeah, I slept 15 hours because I missed the whole night of sleep the night before, like literally entire night. Yeah.
Damn. So how far in advance will you go?
I'm going to ask around a little bit more, somewhere between 10 and 14 days. I'm going to keep asking around. Some people are saying 10 days. I don't really love that. So it'll probably be like 12 to 14 days.
I saw you posted footage of you and Gaethje sparring. Was that recent?
Yeah, he wanted some skinny guys to help him get ready for Max. So so yeah, a lot.
Shocking stuff, right?
Took my breath away for a couple of days, dude. I haven't had my breath taken away like that for a couple of days. That was wild. That was maybe one of the most memorable moments ever.
The knockout itself, but then the sequence leading up to the knockout, the fight. I mean, everything together. Is he okay? Have you talked to him?
I haven't talked to him. I talked to Trevor, and Trevor was saying he's doing good. Gaethje's like he's an unshakable guy. Gaethje is a guy that I really, really look up to as a competitor, and then just also like his personality and his value system. I think he's like a really, really good guy. So you can't really shake Gaethje up. You know, like he's definitely probably sad about it, but he's one of those guys that isn't going to get too down about stuff.
Okay, last one, because I really respect your mind and the way you look at things. Do you think Dustin Poirier has a shot against Islam? And not like a puncher's chance, like a legit shot.
Yeah, I think so. I think definitely. I'm trying to think of Islam's, if he's fought anyone that's like Poirier. Has he?
Recently, not really. I mean, it's Volk. The recent, Volk back-to-back. Who was it prior to that? No one really. Like, you mean body?
Yeah.
Like his, like the frame or the way he fights?
Yeah, like a lefty boxer, like weird shell.
No. Dan Hooker?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, I mean, definitely. I think everyone has a chance, man. I think that if MMA has taught everyone anything, it's that anyone has a chance, especially just with how, like, some of these upsets that have happened in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Like, some of them are literally unbelievable. Like, literally, like, what the fuck? Like, O'Malley beating Sterling was unbelievable at the time.
Yeah.
You know, like, fights like that, like, you can't count anyone out ever.
Leon Kamaru, etc.
Yeah.
The head kick. How does your fight end?
It's gonna be a pain in the ass of a fight, to be honest with you. It's gonna be a tough one. I'm ready for whatever. Like I said, no one's got to see my grappling. I know that that's gonna be kind of something that people talk about, but that'll be a fun thing for me to be able to show off because you know, I do work with Ryan Hall and it's a really unique style, and I think it's gonna be a pain in the ass for him to have to deal with. The amount of space that he leaves is gonna be a pain in the ass to deal with, but I'll figure it out. And yeah, like I mean, I trained 10 weeks already for him, and then I'm about to hop into another 12-week training camp. So I'll have some really good answers for things. I'm definitely not in a place where I want fights to go the distance. I don't really, I like, that's one big thing that I've been working in this time off is like adding some power into these and then adding some power into a couple of the submissions so that I can like rip people apart. And I'm really getting that down really well. So I always go into a fight feeling really confident, but now I feel really confident and I feel like I can like actually like really cause a lot of hurt to someone. So that's going to be fun for me to show everyone that new stuff.
Despite your disrespectful call out and your thoughts on my basketball skills, love having you on. Excited that you're back. Excited to see this fight, and well done on taking the fight. And I hope you get the title shot, obviously, if you prevail on August 3rd. So thank you, and I'll have my agent reach out to your agent, and we could set it up. Okay, you're not the only one with an agent, Cory. All right.
Okay. All right. Later.
Thanks, Cory. There he is, Cory Sandhagen, the man returning August 3rd. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it very much. Hey, if you like this video, give us the old thumbs up. Subscribe as well. You could get many more of these videos on the channel, so please do that. We would love you forever if you did so.